Hey guys, so good to see everybody coming at you live from Carson's Cove Design Table. I actually have an appointment that I've got to head to in about 20 minutes, but I'm jumping on here to discuss a topic that is absolutely driving me crazy. It's one of my pet peeves because there's so much misinformation about it, and that is the topic of gold-filled jewelry. What is gold-filled actually, and why is there so much misinformation about it? I do want to let you know that if you want to be notified when we go live, you can go to your Instagram homepage, and then if you go up to the little notification alert, you can select to be notified every time. Or I'm sorry, I believe you're going to go to Carson's Cove page, select the alarm bell, and you can choose to be notified when we do go live. But let's get back to the topic, which is gold-filled jewelry. All right, if you are a jewelry designer and you're selling your jewelry, it is your responsibility to know what metals and what products you are actually selling to your customer. And that's why this topic is so important. So what is gold-filled jewelry? Gold-filled jewelry is actually really, really high quality jewelry. And what it means is that 1/20th of the total metal weight of that metal being used to make it, or 5%, has to be on the outside of the jewelry. All right. So that's a lot thicker than you're going to get in pieces that are plated. And that's why true gold-filled jewelry is expensive, but it's also jewelry that will last you a lifetime, and it will not fade. You can wear it your whole life, and as long as you keep it clean, it's likely going to have the same luster that it has from the very beginning, because that gold is a lot thicker than plated pieces. So there are a lot of sellers right now that are claiming their pieces are gold filled, especially on Etsy. Tons of manufacturers are claiming, oh, this is gold filled, and it's the price is really, really inexpensive. So that, first of all, is going to tell you it's not gold filled. It is likely plated jewelry. There's nothing wrong with plated jewelry. We sell tons of plated jewelry in Carson's Cove, but you still have to know what you're paying for it, and you cannot tell your customer something is gold filled when it's not. So how are you going to know? You're going to know by the price of what you're paying, and I'm about to break that down for you, and it's going to make more sense. But just because even a manufacturer, I've actually contacted a lot of manufacturers on Etsy who are claiming that their pieces are gold filled. Even if they're telling you they're gold filled, you're going to know by how much you pay for it. And that's what I want to start out explaining. Okay. Let me pull up some numbers. All right. So today, gold is in the metals market, and it's highly volatile. And for the last few years, it has been extremely expensive. So at this moment, gold is, and this is for 24 karat gold, it is $4,464 for 1 ounce. All right. So let's talk about what that looks like. All right. This is approximately 1 ounce, all right? You can see it fits in my hand, and this piece is approximately this thick. All right, so this is kind of going to give you an idea of the reason that real gold-filled jewelry is so expensive. All right, so this is 1 ounce. If this were 24 karat gold, it would cost you $4,400 just for this. This is before it's been made into any jewelry, before it's been made into chain or lobster clasps or jump rings. This right here, just in this little hunk, is $4,400. Okay. how does this translate into gold-filled jewelry? Gold-filled jewelry is made with a base of brass. It's usually brass, sometimes copper. But, so let's take this. I've got this brass sheet right here. It's really tarnished, but you get the idea. So if this were to be gold-filled material, what this means is that 5% of the weight of this piece has to be gold. All right. And if it's 14 karat gold filled, then it has to be 14 karat gold. All right. And it has to be heat bonded. So we've got, it's heat bonded all along the outside. All right. So if you're wearing this as a jewelry, if this is turned into a chain or a pendant, it's touching your skin. And over time, because it's 5%, and that's a lot thicker than plating, it's not going to rub off the same that plating can over time. All right. So we've got 5% of this. All right. It's heat bonded. It has to be, what that means, it's not plated. So there's a lot of manufacturers out there that will say, yes, this is gold filled. And I say, well, what do you mean gold filled? Because you're showing me that the core of this is stainless steel. And they're like, oh, no, it's heavily plated, so it's gold filled. No, absolutely not. It has to be, in order to meet the definition of gold filled jewelry, the gold has to be 5% of the weight, and it has to be heat bonded to this. All right. So let's talk about how this translates to prices. I actually make a higher end line of jewelry that does have a lot of true gold filled pieces in it. And so I ordered some gold filled chain. All right, right here, I've got a wire. All right. I'm not sure if you're aware, but wire is what's actually used to make chain. So the machines that make chain, they're going to take this wire, they're going to bend it into circles, and it's going to cut and connect. All right. So if I'm buying gold filled chain, what that means is that the inside of this is going to be brass. 5% of the outside is going to be gold that's been heat bonded to give me a gold filled wire. And then that is going to be made into chain. You can see that the thicker something is going to cost a lot more to make it gold filled, because the thicker it is, 5% is going to be more gold. All right, so what I would like to do is let's take a look at some chains that I purchased for this line of jewelry, my expensive line of jewelry. And I want to show you the price, the real price of what they are. Give me 1 second here. Thought I had it pulled up. Okay. I have 2 chains here. I'm going to put this across so you can see the difference in size. So we've got this chain right here that is truly 14 karat gold fill. And we've got this much thicker chain that is truly 14 karat gold fill, which means it's a very, very high quality metal, can last you a lifetime with proper care. All right, you can see there are different sizes. So obviously 5% of this chain is going to be a lot more gold than 5% of this really thin chain. So I've got this thin chain right here. I have to buy it in bulk to get it at the wholesale price. So in order to get this at the wholesale price, I have to purchase 50 feet of it. The wholesale price per foot of this little chain is $16. All right, $16 per foot. I have to order 50 feet just to get it at $16 per foot. This is a tiny little clip chain. It's very minimalist and thin. All right, so that means if I am making an 18-inch necklace and I'm going to sell it, just the cost before I've done anything, before I've added a charm, any labor, just the cost of this is going to be, let's see, for 18-inch chain, this is going to cost me $24, all right, before I've done anything. If I'm adding a pendant, charm, beads, all of that's got to go into your price calculation. So let's say that I'm at, by the time there's 20 more dollars in what you add to it. So let's say we're at $45. All right. So you've got to at least be selling your necklace for $90. And that's just for a small gold-filled chain with whatever you put on it. So you're looking at, if you're selling this to your customers, you're looking at least $90. Let's look at this thicker chain that I have. This thicker gold-filled chain that I have, it's pretty thick, it's pretty hefty. Get a little closer here. Again, 5% has to be gold. All right, this chain, 1 foot of it, and remember, this is my wholesale price, 1 foot of it, of which I have to buy 25 feet just to get it at this price. Today, 1 foot of this costs $92. If it's real gold-filled jewelry, the price will fluctuate. The price is going to fluctuate with the price of gold. Today, I told you gold is almost $4,500 an ounce. 6 months ago, it was almost $5,500 an ounce. So 6 months ago, this was actually over $100 for 1 foot of real gold-filled chain. All right, so let's say again that I have this in a standard short necklace. All right, so 18 inches. This is before I've added a gold-filled clasp, before I have added any labor, beads, charms, pendants. All right, what's half of 91? Around $45, right? Sorry, I'm trying to do math without a calculator. Jade. Okay, so I think 18 inches of this is going to put me at $135 today. Just in chain cost. All right, just to have 18 inches of this truly gold-filled thick chain, I'm looking at $135 for 18 inches of this. All right, before I add anything to it. So let's say I add a gold-filled clasp. Let's say that I add pendants, charms, beads. All right, so we're saying we're probably at $175. Let's just throw that out there. That is my cost in this 18-inch, 14-karat gold-filled necklace that I'm selling. I've got $175 just in the cost. All right, so I'm at least going to be doubling that in order to make a profit in my jewelry business. And you can, so we're looking at a very, very expensive necklace, relatively, if you are truly using gold-filled products in your jewelry. So yes, I'm calling out all of the Etsy sellers right now. I've actually contacted a lot of them because what they're doing is they are tarnishing the name of gold-filled. Gold-filled is actually extremely high quality, very expensive metal. And when you get all these Etsy sellers selling gold-filled charms and pendants for $3 to $8, it is absolutely not gold-filled. If you see a gold-filled chain for, even if it's $50, it's not, if it's going to be this thick, it's not gold-filled. It's probably just, it's either heavily plated or it's likely that it's PVD plated. If the core is stainless steel, it is probably PVD plated and it is not gold fill. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind, that if you are purchasing and selling gold filled jewelry, it is going to be very expensive, at least with the price of gold being $4,500 right now. Like I said, 6 months ago, it was $5,500 an ounce. So it would have been more expensive then. And as a jewelry designer who's selling, your price for the exact same necklace that you made is going to be more expensive 6 months ago. And that's how you know if it's truly gold-filled jewelry. It's going to be expensive, but it's also going to last you a lifetime. But my desire here is that everybody does their research on what gold-filled really is. Again, it is an awesome metal when it's truly gold-filled. So do your research. Do not resell your jewelry saying it's gold-filled if you didn't pay the price for it, because it's not truly gold filled if it's not that price. A lot of international sellers I truly don't know if they're being purposely misleading, or if they don't know what gold filled is. I contacted an international manufacturer about making some gold filled bangles for me. They gave me a price. The price seemed like it was about right. And they said it would be gold filled over sterling silver. And I was like, wait, what do you mean that's not gold filled? And they said, yeah, that's gold filled. And I said, no. We've got to get on the same page, because I don't know if you realize that gold filled is actually a jewelry. It's a metal industry term that has to meet the specifications of being 5% heat bonded gold to the outside of the piece. I said it's not generally done on sterling silver. So they said, all right, give us a few days to figure out. And they came back to me and they said, it's gold filled because it's heavily plated sterling silver. And I said, absolutely not. That's not gold filled. What that is, the industry term is vermeil. All right. So vermeil is going to be sterling silver with really thick plating of gold, which is also a really, really good metal, and it's going to last you a really long time, but you can't call it gold filled. So I really don't know if these international manufacturers really don't know what gold filled is, or if they are purposely deceiving people. But please, when you're buying, I don't sell gold filled jewelry in Carson's Cove. It's too expensive for most of the price point of my customers. But please, if you're purchasing gold filled pieces, even if you like the piece and it says it's on, let's say you go to Etsy, you like the charm, you love it, it says it's gold filled and it's $5. All right. You can purchase it, you can use it, but do not tell your customers it's gold filled, because it's not. I'm actually going to work on a video that talks about how jewelry is made. And we're going to talk about how chain is made. I told you it's made from a wire. Believe it or not, lobster clasps are made from sheet metal, so they can be gold filled. It's actually folded over using a machine that cuts it out and folds it over, and they put the hinge in. All right. But if you know Carson's Cove, we sell a lot of castings. Show you some pieces that I've got handy here. So this is just a typical Carson's Cove piece. It's a casting. What that means is molten metal is poured into a mold, and then it cools off and it dries. If you're buying a casting, it is impossible for it to be gold filled, because even if you took a gold filled sheet of metal, 5% is heat bonded on the outside, you melt it all down, and then you pour that molten metal into the mold, you end up with a casting. It is no longer the outside of it 5% gold through heat bonding. So I'd like to talk a little bit more about how jewelry is made. Basically, there's two ways to go. Jewelry is made either from sheet metal and wire, which is the only things that can be gold fill, or it's made from molten metal, which is castings. I'm going to do a whole video on that. It's kind of in depth, but I do think if you're a jewelry designer, it's going to be really helpful for you to know how the parts and pieces that you're using are made. So I'm going to go into that later. I'll let you know when we get that video made. But if you have any comments or questions on Goldfield, we'll post this. I know it's live right now, but we'll post it on our Instagram. Let us know. We'll try to get you answered. And I really hope that helps. You understand everything that goes into making Goldfield and what it actually is. All right, guys, keep designing and have a great day.